We have different jihadis that want to kill me. The purple-haired jihadis, the woke guys.
Well, they want to kill me just as bad.
Probably.
Oh, they really do.
No, you've been very outspoken on the woke stuff. Big time.
Oh, yes. I mean, and they, just the way within a religion, they hate their own apostates more. I would say they hate me more because I'm supposed to like get on the short bus to Crazy Town with them. And I won't. And yet I'm still a liberal and still like, you know, I mean, we probably could argue all day about Donald Trump and what he's doing, which I'm not down with. But, you know, it's always the people who are closest who think, oh, gosh, you shouldn't have, you're a traitor.
It's been months since Donald Trump rolled out the red carpet for Bill Maher at the White House, but the left still hasn't recovered from the shock. The outrage hasn't cooled. Instead, it's been a non-stop bonfire with furious leftist voices torching Maher as a sellout. That simmering anger finally boiled over when CNN's Scott Jennings locked horns with Larry David in a fiery exchange over Maher's supposed betrayal. If you live for raw, unfiltered political drama, smash that subscribe button because this one's about to get scorching. Now, for the sake of context, here's what Maher said about Donald Trump.
I never felt I had to walk on eggshells around him. And honestly, I voted for Clinton and Obama, but I would never feel comfortable talking to them the way I was able to talk with Donald Trump. That's just how it went down. Make of it what you will. Me, I feel it's emblematic of why the Democrats are so unpopular these days. He was even okay when I checked him on the orangutan lawsuit. He was. No, he said to Dana White, you know, Bill said my father was an orangutan and I really love my father. And I said, well, Mr. President, I did that because I didn't like what you were doing regarding Obama's birth origins. I thought that was low. Again, no anger, just a little smile as if to say, yeah, I get it.
Did you catch that? Maher openly admitted he would never feel comfortable speaking to Obama or Clinton the same way he did with Trump. And that speaks volumes. It sheds light on why figures like J.D. Vance and RFK Jr., who once ripped into Trump without mercy, ended up softening after meeting him face to face. According to Maher, Trump was surprisingly charming in private, a man far removed from his fiery public persona, which may have suggested might have been more of a calculated act than raw temperament. The fact that Maher felt at ease with Trump but uneasy with Obama or Clinton doesn't just highlight Trump's personal magnetism. It exposes something telling about the Democratic establishment itself.
So MAGA fans, don't worry. Your boy gave me nothing. Just hats. Hats and a very generous amount of time and a willingness to listen and accept me as a possible friend, even though I'm not MAGA, which was the point of the dinner. My favorite part of the whole night was we were standing in the blowjob room. We were. And he said, you know, I've heard from a lot of people who really like that we're having this dinner. Not all, but a lot. And I said, same. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed. The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk, as opposed to what? Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind? Really? That's what liberals have? He takes the piss out of everybody else and we can hold all.
Maher knew from the very start that people like Larry David would explode at the mere idea of him sitting down with their sworn enemy, the man they repeatedly compared to Hitler. And let's be real, Trump knew it, too. During their conversation, the former president actually agreed with Maher that these self-righteous voices on the left were nothing short of toxic, feeding off outrage and purity tests. Sure enough, the backlash came fast. Just days after Maher's White House, Larry David fired back with a scathing opt, lashing out at Maher for daring to break ranks. But that broadside didn't sit quietly on the shelf. It sparked even more fireworks when CNN's Scott Jennings jumped in, taking issue with David's attack and defending Maher's decision to meet with Trump. And that clash set the stage for one of the spiciest debates yet.
The message of this is not to, because Bill Maher, first of all, I totally agree. He's totally in the right to do it. And I loved his monologue. But this isn't about that dinner. It's about the next one, because this is the modern left. It's an attempt always to intimidate people into not ever doing it again. It's to silence yourselves, or we'll do it for you. That's the purpose of this op-ed, so that the next comedian or the next person on the American left chooses not to speak to Donald Trump. This is all an effort to get people not to do what you just said, which is to talk to each other in our political.
Scott is absolutely right. Cancel culture is not just alive. It's thriving, and it's more aggressive than ever. The self-appointed speech police want to control everything from the words you use to the thoughts you dare to think. Instead of encouraging real debate, they build echo chambers where only one narrative is allowed to exist, punishing anyone who dares to deviate. They are terrified of genuine conversation with people who see the world differently, because deep down they know their arguments can't withstand scrutiny. So they retreat into safe spaces, silencing dissent rather than facing it. Scott called it out perfectly. This isn't about progress. It's about control. And until more people push back, the cultural bullies will keep deciding who's allowed to speak and who gets exiled for wrongthink. That's the danger Maher faced. And that's a fire Scott Jennings just walked straight into. But Maher, he's not afraid of the woke left. So he responded in equal measure.
Larry David, because you're friends, aren't you? Were you friends? Are you friends?
Yes, of course. I mean, this wasn't, my favorite moment of our friendship, but, look, I don't want to get in too much into that, but I think the minute you play the Hitler card,
That's what I think.
You've lost the argument.
Yes.
And also, I must say, come on, man. Hitler, Nazis, nobody has been harder about and more prescient, I must say, about Donald Trump than me. I don't need to be lectured on who Donald Trump is. Just the fact that I met him in person didn't change that. And the fact that I reported honestly is not a sin either. But, to use the Hitler thing, first of all, I just think it's kind of insulting to 6 million dead Jews, like that should kind of be in its own.
Maher's visit to the White House was nothing more than a conversation with Trump. Plain and simple. There was no plotting, no secret alliance, no backroom scheming to push each other's political agendas. The whole purpose was to sit down, exchange views, and actually try to understand where the other was coming from. In an age where dialogue is nearly extinct, that should have been celebrated. But instead, Larry David decided to smear the moment by branding it a dinner with Hitler. Think about that. The act of two men simply talking gets twisted into something sinister. And this is the irony. The same people who preach tolerance, free speech, and democratic values are the first to betray them when the conversation doesn't go their way. They call themselves liberals, but their knee-jerk reactions reveal an ugly truth. They only tolerate discussions they can control.
People can say, well, we're just comparing it in this way. Well, it's an argument you kind of lost just to start it. It's just, look, maybe it's not completely logically fair, but Hitler has really kind of got to stay in his own place. He is the goat of evil, and we're just going to have to, I think, leave it like that. So, did I think that was appropriate? No, but people have the right to.
Did you know he was going to do it?
Of course not. And people.
How did you find out?
My publicist said, this is going on today and you should know it. And I was like, oh.
So, even Maher himself was stunned by Larry David's reaction. Here's a man who never stopped proclaiming his love for free speech. Yet, the moment Maher dared to exercise that very principle by talking with Trump, David turned on him like a viper. The hypocrisy couldn't be clearer. Free speech in David's world seems to only apply when you're echoing his own beliefs. The instant you step outside his ideological comfort zone, Suddenly you're a traitor worthy of public shaming. MR wasn't endorsing Trump, joining his campaign, or pledging allegiance. He was simply having a conversation, something adults should be able to do without fear of backlash. David's furious response exposes exactly the kind of person he is, someone who preaches tolerance, but practices intolerance. Someone who weaponizes free speech only when it benefits him. MR was right to be shocked because the mask truly slipped. Interestingly, Charlie Kirk agreed with MR on the issue of talking to each other.
We're on different planets, obviously, on the spiritual religious stuff. But when you spoke against the woke, that for me was a proving moment. And I have to say something, and this is 100% true. You had more moral courage than pastors that I know that went along with the woke crazy train. And you deserve credit for that because it was of high cost.
Until we get rid of that, they're never going to win another election.
I agree. They're not going to take political advice from me.
No, but they might from me.
MI is absolutely right. If Democrats don't find the courage to break free from the grip of the woke mob, 2028 could be a political bloodbath. The so-called progressives have poisoned the well so thoroughly that even longtime supporters are refusing to drink from it. What once looked like a movement for equality and justice has morphed into a culture of censorship, division, and endless purity tests. Instead of winning people over, they've made the left toxic, unappealing, and downright exhausting to everyday Americans who just want common sense leadership. Worse still, they spent years indoctrinating younger generations with half-truths and outright lies, convincing them that outrage equals progress. The result, a party shackled by extremism and bleeding credibility. Unless the Democrats cut ties with this self-destructive mob, they'll not only lose elections, they'll lose the very people they claim to represent.
And they should.
Not the 10%, but that's 10%.
But they're very loud.
They're very loud, but that's it. And I, as FDR once said, I welcome their hatred because they're just, first of all, they have no integrity. They don't ever present the full argument. They just cherry pick. I mean, everybody does it to everybody. So I'm not saying I'm unique here, but that is part of the problem of our discourse is that everybody just wants to forward their narrative. No one is really interested in the full truth. Just the truth. Just give me the...
MR didn't pull a single punch as he fired back at Larry David. And honestly, I'm with him on this one. The woke crowd has mastered the art of moral grandstanding while abandoning any real sense of integrity. They don't care about open dialogue or balanced debate. Their only mission is to push their narrative, no matter how flimsy or one-sided it may be. Instead of engaging with the full picture, they cherry-pick whatever scraps of facts, research, or science fit neatly into their worldview, discarding anything that challenges it. That isn't intellectual honesty. That's propaganda dressed up as righteousness. MR exposed exactly that hypocrisy, showing how these self-proclaimed champions of truth aren't searching for it at all. They are just trying to control the conversation, silence dissent, and weaponize selective information. And when someone like MR refuses to play along, the outrage machine kicks into overdrive.
We have different jihadis that want to kill me. The purple-haired jihadis, the woke guys.
Well, they want to kill me just as bad.
Probably.
Oh, they really do.
No, you've been very outspoken on the woke stuff. Big time.
Yes. I mean, and they, just the way within a religion, they hate their own apostates more. I would say they hate me more because I'm supposed to get on the short bus to Crazy Town with them, and I won't. And yet I'm still a liberal and still I mean, we probably could argue all day about Donald Trump and what he's doing, which I'm not down with. But, it's always the people who are closest who think, oh gosh, you shouldn't have, you're a traitor.
The left wasted no time turning on MR the moment he dared to pursue the full truth, even when that truth clashed with his own beliefs and worldview. That's the unforgivable sin in woke circles. Thinking for yourself. And MR isn't alone in paying the price for refusing a permanent seat on their short bus to Crazy Town. Others who stepped off that ride have been hammered just as hard. Joe Rogan was vilified for giving a platform to voices outside the approved narrative. Elon Musk was branded a villain the second he started calling out woke hypocrisy. And IFK Jr. has been relentlessly smeared simply for questioning the dogma. All three, like MR, discovered the same thing. Wokeism isn't about truth, fairness, or progress. It's about blind loyalty to a cult of outrage. Step out of line and the mob is ready to devour you whole.
I was going to ask, is it because they thought you were one of them and that...
I am one of them. They're not one of me. Okay. It's the liberals who have...
So they've left you, not you left.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's... Liberal and woke are two completely different things. It was the theme of my last stand-up special that I just did a few months ago. And it's basically... I mean, it wasn't the whole special, of course, but it was a large part of it devoted to that, to proving that case that, you know, what liberals believe, woke is something completely different. It's very often the opposite of it. You know, liberalism is let's live in a colorblind society. That's the goal. Woke's goal is we see race everywhere.
Race obsession.
Yes. Okay. So that's not liberal. You change. Liberal is there a two-state solution. Woke is river to the sea. Okay. So just don't take my word and say,